What is good, you guys? Once again, I want to thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers, and the road to 3,000 subscribers starts now. And right now, I want to take the time to discuss the fight between Miyoshi Nakatani and Vasily Lomachenko on June 26th. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with Vasily Lomachenko and not that familiar with Miyoshi Nakatani. Miyoshi Nakatani is a fighter with one loss, and that one loss came to Teofimo Lopez. And in that fight, Miyoshi Nakatani made it very difficult for Teofimo Lopez to look good in that fight. That was definitely one of the more difficult fights of Teofimo Lopez's career, and Teofimo did not look spectacular because of Nakatani. After this fight, Nakatani will go on to face Felix Verdejo, who I refuse to talk about in a positive light. He is a horrible human being, and may God be with the family of the victim. Felix himself was undefeated and had good skills and power. Verdejo would drop Nakatani twice in this fight, and Nakatani would battle back to drop Verdejo with a jab and follow up with the right hand to end the fight. What I gather from this fight is that Nakatani often takes some to give some, and he is extremely tough. Once he is hurt, he doesn't panic, he just keeps on coming. And with that being the case, Nakatani is not that defensively responsible. He leaves himself open quite often. But for those of you who think that he's a pushover and he's just a tune-up fight for Lomachenko, you are sadly mistaken. Nakatani is 5'11.5" with a 71-inch arm reach, and he has 19 wins, 1 loss with 13 KOs. And like I said before, Nakatani takes one to give one most of the time, and in the process he leaves himself open. He is not really difficult to hit, but you better be prepared for what's coming back at you. This man can crack, and he has fast hands, and he definitely puts punches together really well. But when it comes to a fighter like Vasily Lomachenko, yeah, he's smaller and he's coming off an upset loss to Teofimo Lopez, but he is still amongst the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in the world today. He may not be where he once was, but he is still amongst the best fighters in the world today. It's really hard for me to say what Loma we will get come fight night, but I would expect his experience to be the factor on what separates him from Nakatani. And like I said before, Nakatani is very unresponsible on defense, and Lomachenko is a fighter that really capitalizes on things like that. But with Loma being 5'7" with a 65.5-inch arm reach, he will be completely outmatched physically, being 4 inches shorter than Nakatani and having a shorter reach by 6 inches, which are huge differences in size and will be evident on fight night. And I really honestly think that Lomachenko is shorter than 5'7.5". There is no way he's 5'7.5", because I've seen him in person and he is extremely short. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's at least 5'6", 5'6.5". But back to what's relevant, this fight is a tough fight for both competitors. Nakatani may be unresponsible on defense, but he makes up for it with power, speed, and combinations, and he is also relentless. And Lomachenko is very responsible on defense, and besides Manny Pacquiao, he has the best footwork and angles in the game. Now, this is a fight that is really difficult for me to judge. Based off of how Lomachenko fought Teofimo in the last fight, waiting for Teofimo's power to gas out, I would really hope that that is not the game plan for a fighter like Nakatani. And hopefully Lomachenko and his father have learned from that experience and will approach this fight differently. Lomachenko will have to make Nakatani miss and make him pay. And Nakatani's length has bothered a lot of his opponents. He is a big 135-pounder, and Loma is one of the more smaller 135-pounders. This is obviously not Lomachenko's natural weight, but he moved up in weight, he dared to be great, and he had pretty great success at 135 pounds while it lasted. What will be dangerous about this fight is that Lomachenko will have to get in against Nakatani. And Nakatani has the ability to create space and get you at the end of his length, which will not be great for Lomachenko at all. And it is just something about this fight that gives me the idea that Lomachenko is levels above Nakatani, which he is, but physically he is not. And that's what makes this fight truly unpredictable. And this fight is quite similar to the Gervonta Davis versus Mario Barrios fight in a sense that one fighter is tremendously smaller than the other physically. And I'm going to have to give the edge to Lomachenko. I think he is not done at 135 pounds, and he wants to make a statement out of Nakatani, who is coming off a great win. Loma could have fought anyone else in his return, but he chose to fight a tough competitor like Nakatani. And stylistically, this is not a good matchup for Lomachenko, and it could wind up being a disaster. But he's challenging himself, he's daring to be great once again, and I really like that in Lomachenko. This fight could get Loma back into the mix at 135, and I can see why he chose Nakatani. In the comment section, you guys let me know who you think will win this fight. And that's pretty much it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And once again, thank you for 2,000 subscribers.